Hey, what's up guys? In this video I'm going to be going over the modulation matrix. This is an extension of all of our envelopes and all of our LFOs. So typically, you take an LFO here and we'd map this to pitch, and we'd have the pitch being modulated by this LFO as in an exaggerated form, and that works well. And you would think, okay, well, we can only map two things. What if I wanted to map more? What if I wanted to have like a bunch of modulation stuff going everywhere and having crazy patches of doom? What we can do is we can go into the matrix, MTRX down here, right down here, and we can have we have 5 pages, so a bunch of sources, so 30 sources modulating all these things here. So I'll show you how that works, that basic rundown. So we're gonna need a source, and the source will have LFO1 as a source, and that works out pretty well. And we'll do the same thing. We'll map this to pitch, right? And that's like under the hood, and it's not even mapped down here. And with that being said, we can change it. Right? Let's see what else we can do. We can have LFO1 and LFO2, so we can have 2 LFOs. What I want to do is I want to have this one a bit slower. Put the symmetry up here. Right, so that's that's like a broken synthesizer. This is only an exaggeration. We can have both of these modulating other things too. So I'll just leave that alone. I'll have LFO2 also modulating the filter, and we already have this envelope here. We'll turn that off. Cool. What am I doing? Yeah, filter. We'll have Infecto. Right, so we have this opening and closing. We have LFO2 modulating this and modulating this. And that works out pretty cool. We can also have envelopes. We can also have our pitch wheel, our pitch bend, opening and closing the filter. The mod wheel, which is the thing beside it. I don't have one on my push here, but it's right beside a typical synth or MIDI keyboard. You can map it to that, so you don't have to map it to something. The mod wheel, you can basically set up the mod wheel to control a lot of stuff, even LFO, the rate of your LFO, right? So with that being said, we can, let's say, we'll change this. We'll have the source we'll have the source of LFO2 modulating the LFO1 rate. Right, so you can get into some pretty crazy sounds, and there's pages upon pages of this. So the modulation is very flexible, and this is what a modulation matrix does. It's just an extension of these guys here, right? You still have 4 envelopes, 4 LFOs, and a step and an ARP, which we'll get into later, but it's a great way to kind of explore and patch things in. How you would do it like a huge modular, all those wires and stuff. This is basically the same idea, but it's done in a matrix. It's a little confusing, but you'll get it. You can have things going in and out of each other, and it's all crazy and fun. What else can you do? Let's see. Yeah, you can even have different amounts modulating other amounts. Reverb time, the shaper time, filter, oscillator 1, you can have the detune, the wideness, you can even pan. So we'll have like LFO3 modulating the pan. Right, and that brings me to something that I forgot to mention. It's mono, the LFOs. So mono, what it'll do is I'll show you right quick what it does, because I forgot to mention it. So we will have just a basic. We'll do this in this. We won't do it in the matrix just for time. Right, so we have our LFO modulating our pitch here. We press more than one key. You can hear 2 LFOs independently affecting each voice. We can turn that off with mono, so it affects them both at the same time. Right, so it's used for that. So mono would be for, like, I don't know, a bass or something that's, you don't want, you know, a lot of craziness going on. If you have a lot of modulation, you have mono off. Say if you have like a pad and you would have this pitch like subtle, you'd have that, and you'd have like multiple voices, and you'd play like a chord, and each voice is modulated differently with the LFO, so you can get like a rich kind of pad thing going on. And that's just with a sine wave and some voices and some cool fun stuff. Right. Yeah, and that's the Matrix. Hope you learn stuff. Play around with it. It's not that crazy once you get it. So it's source. You can have more than one source affecting up to 4 things. And you can have sources affecting other sources, and the amount is left or right. So the positive or the negative. Yeah, I gotta go. We'll be back very soon.